In fact, right in the middle of Prohibition, in a little subtle act of silent protest, we built a giant champagne bottle. See, it's green just like a bottle, and the gold near the top looks like the foil on a bottle of champagne. It is real gold up there. It's very thin, even thinner than the Serpent. We're going under the State Street Bridge. You might have noticed there's actually a big hole in the bridge right now. We took that out to do some repairs. Just a structure, but it represents a moment in time. It's a way for people from the past to reach out. Notice it's standing all by itself. It's actually the only private development, only skyscraper on the lake side of that road. Famous DuSable Lake Shore Drive runs down the edge of Lake Michigan. And the Chicago lakefront is supposed to be public access. It's a lot of parks and beaches, not skyscrapers. But in the late 60s, those developers found a zoning loophole hard enough over a short period of time. We're going to go under this first bridge in DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Chicago has a lot of these. We actually have the second most movable bridges of any city in the world, Amsterdam being number one. And by a movable bridge, I mean they can raise. They still do lift the bridges from time to time, mostly in the late spring to let sailboats get out to the lake. They do it on Wednesday and Saturday mornings. You might have seen them this morning. If you're ever hanging out downtown, you see a group of sailboats just kind of waiting around, probably waiting for one of these bridges to lift. And after this bridge, the curtain will rise. Renovation of the O'Hare Airport. The St. Regis is made with 6 different shades of blue glass, meant to imitate how the water and the sky look different under different light conditions. Notice how the blue glass gets darker where the building gets narrower, and lighter where the building gets wider. Look at the edge of the building. It's got a wavy shape to it. Kind of fits with their aquatic motif, referring to the Chicago River and Lake Michigan nearby. And Water Canada celebrated the 100-year anniversary of the sanitary district, who clean all the water in Chicago. It also celebrated the reversal of the river. There's some symbolic meaning here. The water on the right side represents what the water originally did, that is, going to the Great Lakes, to the Atlantic Ocean. The water on the left side of the fountain represents what it does now, and ultimately to the Mississippi River, to the Gulf of Mexico. 26. My favorite fact about that building, can you see there's a little stone tower poking up right behind that yellow dome? That was originally intended as a place to dock your blimp. They thought in the future we'd all be taking a rigid airship to work along a hot air balloon. They made a parking spot for blimps. Unfortunately, draw your eye upwards. The way they did that, the outside of the Wrigley building is tiled. See those tiles? It's covered in more than 250,000 enameled terracotta tiles, which gives it that lovely color gradient, getting lighter as you go up. Those tiles also make the Wrigley building more narrower. Every time the building gets narrower, we call that a setback, and their heights are no coincidence. That lowest setback is the same height as the roof, Burj Khalifa. On your left, the stone building with the short towers and corners in nature, therefore our building should have none. And so you get this round, natural design. You have to be a professional valet to park there. You don't let just anyone back up to the ledge. There have been some famous movie stunts. They've actually driven cars off Marina City into the river, including by Steve McQueen. On your left, the shorter concrete building with the gold 5.5 at the top is a new take on classical ancient Greek design. Pretty cool from a time perspective. We're here in 2025, looking at a building from 1992, which is itself a reference all the way back in our machine-made future. You get that sense of optimism from all the straight line columns on the way up, just like we felt we were on the way up. And there's a machine feeling to it. A lot of repetitive patterns, like the arrows in the trim, the gold squares at regular intervals. I was really guiding it up. Got it? Season working on the river. When I started working here, that was a parking lot. Straight ahead with the big gray arch at the bottom is River Point from 2017. That gray arch is a rain gutter for the front face of the building. River Point is actually built directly above active. Not just for the odd triangular shape of the building, but for the fact he wanted to put residences on the river. No. As recently as 1988, when these were built, the river was still industrial and smelly. Not a lot of people wanted to live by the river. In the long term, though, in front of you, if I get a picture, I'll sell it for you. Right behind that tree. See the building with the Y-shaped foundation? Now, why would you want to build a foundation like that? This is a tricky spot to put a skyscraper. This lot's set empty, for many too much. So in this tour, I'm going to tell you about a couple methods of sway reduction, how we calm down skyscraper sway and basically, whenever the wind makes the building sway one way, all the water in those tanks on the top floor naturally sloshes the other way because it's a heavy load. Also on your right, I just think this is funny. Fitness center, right next to a bakery. You are here sign. They put themselves on the map by putting a map on themselves. Any fans of? At the time of its completion, this was the largest post office. Now this next stretch of the river is story time. The story I'm going to tell you is called the 4 Stars of Chicago, or that time was on the river would have looked like. These wide brick warehouses from the early shipping and manufacturing days. The free show they do at 8:30 p.m. Usually it's Thursday through Sundays. I guess they added a day on and do it on Wednesdays as well at 8:30 p.m. every night. They project art videos across the river to cover the whole front face of the merchandise mart. It is the world's largest projected public art display. We'll just miss it by a couple minutes, but they'll do it any of these next few nights this weekend at 8:30 p.m. Art online. Merchandise Mart is gigantic. When it was completed in 1929, this was the year. Now this next strip of it, that skinny stone rocket ship, is the Mather Tower, 1928, made to look like a cathedral. The same is true for the building just to the right of that. Straight ahead, you can see those white letters that say Chicago Tribune, the Tribune Tower, 1925. In this case, it was the offices of a newspaper.
Karigyas. Krisang bite karigyas.